If you had to choose today, would you buy a charming historic Altbau property or a shiny modern Neubau apartment in Germany? This isn't just a question of age or aesthetic preference. The choice between an old build and a new construction is arguably the single most important decision you'll make, impacting your risk, your cash flow, and your entire investment strategy for years to come. Hi, my name is Ajay, and in this channel we're going to guide you on how to buy a house here in Germany. Buying property in Germany is complex enough when you're an expat navigating the local system. Contracts, the Nebenkosten, the notary and whatnot. But what makes this choice so critical is that the purchase price is only the tip of the iceberg. The real difference lies beneath the surface, in the running costs, tax advantages, the rules around depreciation, and how the banks assess your risk. Many buyers, especially those coming from less regulated markets, choose based on emotion. They want the comfort of new or the charm of the old. But German real estate is a marathon, not a sprint. That's what I keep telling my clients, and it often punishes emotional decisions. Both the Altbau and the Neubau can make a lot of money, but they can also destroy your returns if you misunderstand the fundamental strategy behind them. If you want a more comprehensive step-by-step guide to this entire process, you can check out my book on how to invest in real estate in Germany, available on Amazon. So let's calmly and clearly break down which one is the right workhorse for your goals. Let's start with the classic. What exactly counts as an old build or Bestand? Typically, we're talking about properties that are 15, 20 or more years old, often much older. These are usually resale properties that have been lived in before. Crucially, they often fall into lower, less desirable energy efficiency classes like C through H, meaning their heating requirements are a bit higher. The core appeal of the old build is its value proposition and location. Firstly, they almost always offer a lower purchase price per square meter compared to a new build in the same area. This means you get more size for your money, so more bang for the buck, and often a much better location in established central neighborhoods, so basically Innenstädte. Secondly, for investors, the Altbau offers leverage and potential. Renovation costs, if done correctly, can be tax deductible against your rental income, and they are your primary tool for forced appreciation. You don't have to wait for the market to improve. You can create value yourself by modernizing the property. Risks of old builds. However, the Altbau is like a classic car. It often offers great performance if maintained, but it can be disastrous if neglected. There are hidden technical issues as well. You must budget for costly repairs like roof replacement, pipework, or electrical system updates. And the energy inefficiency and political pressure will add on top to this. This is the most pressing risk today. With rising heating costs and political pressure of energy efficiency like the planned EU regulations and rising CO2 levies, an Altbau with a class G or H rating is a financial liability. Maintenance is not optional. Sooner or later, you will be required to invest in insulation or a new heating system and new windows, for example. This requires planning and capital. Now let's look at the Neubau, the new construction. This typically refers to properties that are first occupancy. They are built to the latest standards, usually achieving high energy standards like A or A+. Advantages of new builds. The primary advantage of the Neubau is peace of mind and comfort. The first major benefit is the minimal maintenance in the early years. You have a 5-year warranty from the developer, and you won't face major capital expenditures for at least a decade. This is especially helpful if you're new to Germany or seeking a completely hands-off investment. Secondly, Neubau boasts excellent energy efficiency. The lower running costs provide comfort, attract reliable tenants, and keep your property desirable despite rising energy prices. And finally, in certain circumstances, new builds qualify for special accelerated depreciation benefits, making them very attractive purely from a tax optimization perspective for investors. Risks of new builds. The comfort of the new build comes at a price, a higher purchase price. You're paying a premium for that new car smell. You sacrifice short-term cash flow for a long-term comfort, as the price per square meter is often significantly higher. Developer risk. You're buying off-plan, which means delays are common. Delays in construction can create a double burden for you. You pay your current rent and the mortgage interest on the money the bank has already paid out to the developer. Cash flow weakness. Because the purchase price is so high, the initial rental income from a Neubau often barely covers the financing and running costs. You may be in a cash flow neutral or even a negative position for the first few years. I mean, barring the depreciation part which I spoke earlier about. The bank's perspective is critical because it directly influences your interest rate and the amount you can borrow. Banks assess risks differently. For an Altbau, if it has a terrible energy class, say G or H, the bank must add a higher estimated running cost, Haushaltspauschale, to your monthly budget calculation, which significantly reduces the total loan amount you can afford. For a Neubau, the bank loves the energy efficiency. This is increasingly translating into better interest margins for you, the borrower. However, if the Neubau is in a less proven peripheral location, so outskirts, the bank may require higher equity or apply conservative rental assumptions because they may not have any examples. Energy efficiency has officially moved from being a nice-to-have feature to a key factor in the bank's risks models. So if you're currently deciding between an Altbau and a Neubau, the bank's calculation should be your starting point. Knowing your financing capacity for both is essential. You can check out a video on property valuation in Germany explained here on YouTube. If you want to maximize your borrowing power and understand the difference in interest rates between these property types, do contact us. Our details are always available in the description below. This decision ultimately boils down to one simple trade-off: cash flow versus appreciation. The old build strategy, the Altbau, offers better cash flow. This is an active management strategy. It demands a higher effort as you have to deal with renovations and maintenance, but it gives you better immediate financial returns. The new build strategy, Neubau, is an appreciation-driven strategy. It offers lower hassle and a peace of mind, but your initial return is almost entirely driven by the property value increasing over time, not monthly rent checks. It's an easier, more passive form of ownership. The key insight here is Germany rewards patience and planning and not perfection. Both routes work, but only if you align the property type with your personal strategy. Don't confuse a workhorse asset, Altbau, with a comfort asset, Neubau. Let's summarize who truly benefits from each option. The Altbau is better for you if you want positive cash flow from day one. You're comfortable with renovations and active management. You're a hands-on investor looking to optimize the property value over time yourself. Prioritize a central or proven location over modern amenities. The Neubau is better for you if you want peace of mind and zero short-term maintenance headaches. You've got a strong, stable income and can accept lower short-term returns for safety. You prioritize A+ energy efficiency and future-proofing against regulations. You're buying to live in it for a very long period, or you're an expat who needs minimal hassle. As an expat, this decision is often clouded by a few common mistakes. Buying Neubau because it feels safer. Many expats over-prioritize the safety of a new build, paying an unnecessary premium when the financial profile could have been managed in Altbau with better returns. Ignoring the total cost of ownership. They forget that Altbau renovation costs, while high, are often tax deductible for investors, while a Neubau's high price is not. Underestimating renovation ROI. They dismiss Altbau too quickly, not realizing the significant return on investment that targeted renovations can achieve. Not aligning strategy with status. Your decision must match your long-term plans in Germany. If you plan to move back home in 3 or 4 years, a high-cost Neubau might be harder to sell for a profit quickly. And for those of you who are on a blue card or temporary residence permit, the bank's preference for high-quality assets might naturally push you towards Neubau simply because it lowers the overall risk profile on your loan. You can check out a video on how to find houses or an apartment here on YouTube. There is no universal better option between an old build and a new construction. There is only the right one for your specific strategy. If you're a serious, long-term investor who understands German bureaucracy, the Altbau creates wealth through lower entry costs and forced appreciation. If you're a busy professional and a family person who prioritizes comfort, low running costs, and a peace of mind, the Neubau creates comfort and a stable home base. Confusing these two paths lead to disappointment. Make a decision with a clear head, a detailed plan, and the right advice. If you've been watching and are still asking yourself whether an Altbau renovation risk is worth the reward, or if the Neubau price premium makes sense for you, please ask any questions you have in the comments below. We read and answer them all. And if you found this guide helpful, please subscribe for more gentle and detailed guides on German real estate. And remember, for a deeper dive into all these strategies we discuss, grab a copy of my book, How to Invest in Real Estate in Germany, on Amazon. And with this being said, see you in the next video.